Practice winding down here at Homestead, Miami. As you can see, Eric Monaco is sporting the Power Days paint scheme here. Christian Breck and his teammate doing much of the same. Nothing too crazy for Patrick Smith. He's just in pits right now. Chris Harvey has a spiffy-looking paint scheme with a little dash of silver on it. Oh man, look how bunched up these guys are. As you can see, the GOAT has the fastest lap of the session. 7/10 ahead of Christian Bracken, but perhaps we can just chalk that up to him using the qualifying setup. Which, oh dear, that's Jana Fogelman going straight into the inside wall. What happened there? Wait, what? This is going to be a big problem with the race. These cars, they seem to get skipped. But yeah, let's take a look at this again. Jana Fogelman turning across Annie Thomas's car, going into the inside wall. Then she carries that speed back onto the track and takes out PK, who's trying to get onto pit road. She slides up the track into Özkan's car, and he slams into the wall. PK does as well. Ouch. And a bunch of drivers here scrambling to try to get into the car, banging into each other. Oh, it's an absolute melee here. Crikey. Oh my day. Oh dear. Damn, 8 thousandths. Oh. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. Race 36 of 36, the final race of the 2023 NASCAR AAA Cup Series. It's the Ford 400 at Homestead, Miami. 67 laps around this 1.5 mile oval. One of the few proper ovals that NASCAR visits every year. And yeah, I'm going to throw all the shade I can at Phoenix, because this is where you host the NASCAR Cup Series finale. Eric Monaco and Patrick Smith are the two drivers to watch out for today. Smith is 23 points behind Eric Monaco, and he needs to finish at least 23 points ahead of Monaco today if he wants to steal the cup away. But of course, if Monaco finishes ahead, the cup is his. He starts alongside the GOAT. He has done everything that's been asked of him. And, well, yeah, we'll just have to see how we get on. Hopefully this Power Days paint scheme here that Monaco and Bracken both sport tonight is going to do them wonders. Speed up that car. Do what racing apparently just can't do. The GOAT starts on pole alongside Eric Monaco. Second row, Max Davis and Joey Trickle. Rocky Johnson qualified 6th today. How about that? She starts alongside Steve Morgan. There are Gerald Pepper and Joe Allen. And these guys have come a long way, haven't they? Starting 10th today, it's Patrick Smith. Again, he's gonna be the one needing to do all of the work if he wants to steal away the title from Eric Monaco. He starts behind him. In fact, 3 cars behind, 4 rows behind, effectively. So, yeah, a lot is going to be asked of him today. Starting 9th today, Mathis Wells. It's about time I finally mixed up that name, huh? 6th row here, we've got Mo Zane and Jana Fogelman. We've got Reggie Fogelman and Amy Hicks. We got Lucas Evans and Eli Wolf in the DuPont Rainbow car. Looks very spiffy and nice. Colin Cropley alongside Chris Harvey in this sleek-looking silver and green MBNA car. Well, Interstate Batteries MBNA car, that is. We got Sabrina Futlego and Annie Thomas. We've got Montero Sallin and Leroy Jenkins. Matthew Burnett and Ashley Schadewald. Christian Bracken obviously hasn't qualified very well today, but is still expected to perform quite well. She starts alongside Antonin Charlebois here. We have Bobbin Flobo and Lyle Austin. We have Daniel Voiles and Brittany White. Ari Utaiki and Anastasio PK, those 2 guys. Gil Samaya, another driver with a poor qualifying performance today. Obviously coming off the heels of his poor result at Rockingham in the penultimate race of the season. And he'll definitely be looking to improve today. Starts alongside Dylan Abrahamian here. Salman Özkan and Agata Sato make up the 18th row. Riley Spurley and Harry Langestein start in the 19th row. And rounding out the field, Adalberto Franco and Reagan Whitlock. So, without any further hesitation, let's get straight into this one. It's Homestead, Miami. And, yeah, I love this track. This was one of the first NASCAR tracks I'd ever actually driven in a game. This alongside with Auto Club Speedway, California. And obviously that is part of the reason why I adore those 2 tracks so much. The truth is, of course, that was in the game Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. I had the Wii version, but obviously the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions were better in every way. And of course, in that game, when you raced at Homestead, Miami, or California, you were obviously racing the infield road course. But those few times when you were actually driving on the oval, kind of gave me a little taste of what driving NASCAR is like. Just made me wish that I could just drive the full oval. But yeah, obviously California road course and Homestead road course, they're in NASCAR Racing 2003 season. People have made them as mods for the game, I mean, and obviously I enjoy those. Road course physics are always very wonky, but it's still a fun time. So, pace car is in. Green flag is out. We are underway. Why does it look like the GOAT is? It looks like the GOAT's front end is really sticking up in the air here. More importantly, very good start from him, but from Monaco as well. Good things here. Joey Trickle looking to make things 3 wide already. Heading out of turn 2 here. Yep, there it is. Eric Monaco falling behind. Max Davis to the inside. He's going to take second place here without much issue here. Car's getting very bunched up. Look at Patrick Smith again. He's going to be the eye. The eye? Yeah, he's going to be the eye. I want to be the guy. I am the eye in the sky looking at you. I can read your mind. I bet my dad's going to hate that reference. But, yeah. Patrick Smith and Eric Monaco. I think they have some very iconic and noticeable paint schemes on their cars. They're going to be the people to look out for tonight. I mean, the thing with Patrick Smith is that the cars of Lucas Evans and Colin Cropley look virtually identical, as does Sato's, for that matter. Again, I've mentioned this quite a few times. You have the primary color of red or black. I mean, I think there's like a lot of equal space of both, with yellow as the sort of tertiary color. Less so on Cropley's car. The only yellow really comes in the form of that rookie stripe. Ditto for Lucas Evans, but still, that also just ends up meaning that those 2 drivers' cars end up looking very similar. The 18 on this alternate paint scheme here looks a little bit wonky, not quite Joe Gibbs font, but it'll do. Chris Harvey will be quite happy to finally have some sort of alternate paint scheme. Where's the GOAT? Oh. He's left the field in the dust. Max Davis runs second ahead of Eric Monaco now. Originally, it was my intention to put a little banner in the corner somewhere giving you an update on how the point standings is as things stand in the championship while the race goes on, but it's easier to say that as long as Eric Monaco finishes ahead of Patrick Smith, he's going to have the championship in the bag. Patrick Smith, as mentioned, needs to finish at least 23 points ahead of Eric Monaco. He'll tie him in the points if that happens, but he will, I believe, win the Cup on tiebreak because he has more top fives. Patrick Smith presently has 14 of them. Eric Monaco only achieved 10 this season. It's obviously not to say nothing of all of Eric Monaco's finishes in the top 10? Top 5? I'm getting confused here, but yeah, that really does raise the question. How the hell did these people do it? Well, pretty sure they have 21 top 10s each. And that's not nothing. That is over 50% of the races finished in the top 10. And that is nothing to scoff at. The GOAT has 14 wins and 19 top 10s. I mean, just think about that. The only top 5s the GOAT... Oh, look how far away he is. Oh man, the GOAT is just leaving everybody in the dust. Yeah. Besides his 14 wins, he was unable to secure another top 5. Maybe that's sort of maybe that's rather impressive, but with only 5 top 10s outside of those wins, I don't know. I mean, it sort of makes well, I mean, Eric Monaco's and Patrick Smith's 2 wins apiece seem a bit more tame, but perhaps a bit more realistic, you know? You'd assume that with those 2 drivers, first and second in the point standings, that it was a very winning season for a lot of other drivers. And there have been quite a lot of unique winners this season. Ashley Schoneveld, your Daytona 500 winner. You had Victoria Savio, who won the 2nd race of the season. Her 2nd and only race in this season. Remember, she was driving at number 29. Giacomo Martini was driving at number 67 that you see running in 4th right now. And Peter McGregor, of course, in the car that you're focusing on right now, the number 22. Now driven by Max Davis, who's really made the most of this season, despite the fact that, yeah, he did not race the first 2 races of the season. And really, Max Davis at this point, you know, is in a position where if he had run those first 2 races of the season, he could have very well been on for the championship, which reminds me, if Eric Monaco wins this race, then obviously he automatically gets the number 9 for next season. But also Leroy Jenkins gets the number 2. Leroy Jenkins, man, where is he? 23rd place. That's not where the number 2 belongs. But yeah, if Eric Monaco wins the championship, Eric Monaco and Leroy Jenkins automatically get their cars for the next Cup Series, the next sign-up series. Of course, he can change those cars and drivers if he wishes to. But yeah, until such time, yeah, he's automatically going to have the number 2 and number 9. If Patrick Smith wins the championship, then he's automatically going to get the number 21. And again, he can pick 2 more cars and or change Patrick Smith's car for the next season. Although, of course, I'd be rather shocked if he didn't elect to remain with the number 21. That said, of course, if Eric Monaco ends up winning, then that means the 21 will be vacated, and somebody surely is going to want to jump into that seat. Again, vice versa, somebody's definitely going to want those number 9 and number 19 Evernham Dodge cars, because they have really lit up the track this season. Same again with the Motorcraft Ford. Not much to think about that. As things stand, a Chevy's going to win the Ford 400, and a Dodge is going to edge out a Ford for the championship. Probably not the sort of thing that Ford was looking forward to with their sponsorship on this race. More importantly, as for Pontiac, their foremost driver, Lucas Evans, runs 14th, which isn't too bad, but remember when Evans scored something like 5 consecutive second place finishes. Maybe it was only 4. By the way, man, that guy just could not win a race until he finally did, and I forget which one it was. Darlington? Probably not. But anyways, things have been very quiet here. In fact, the audio is quiet in my head as well. Adalberto Franco runs last. 186 miles an hour. How about the goat? Let's take a look at the goat speed trap out of this turn here. Well, down the front stretch. 187. Okay, that's not that much more impressive. In fact, this was one of his slowest laps, but I mean, look at these consistent lap times. Wow. Amazing. Incredible. Wow. Can't believe I actually did that. Yeah. I should have turned up the AI grip levels. I actually, for once, had to turn the drag below 1.0. But that still didn't really work. I should have turned up the grip levels. I'm consistently running 7/10 faster than everyone else. This was a mistake. I was really hoping that the racing up front would be much more exciting than this, but of course we can make it more exciting if we start yelling like David Crofty here and going wild over, you know, the silly things like Rocky Johnson going for 5th place on Patrick Smith. Who said that Patrick Smith didn't have to face adversity from the 38 other cars on track? You know, excluding Eric Monaco, the man he's fighting for the championship, and he runs 2nd now, and of course that basically means that the GOAT is hardly going to put any sort of dent in his distance to Monaco and Smith, for that matter, in the point standings. You know, like, again, the GOAT needs to win this race and basically crash these two off and make them finish last if he wants to win the title, but he's not going to do that because he's a fair driver, and hopefully Monaco and Smith are too. I think obviously if it came down to this in real life, you know, if you didn't care too much about your reputation and you just wanted that cup and the money, then you would gun straight for your championship rival and bat him off. Although obviously you'd probably have to contend with teammates, you know. The teammates can perform decently well together, and obviously they can sort of form, you know, buffers to the drivers up front, you know. You can imagine, of course, if Smith actually had teammates. Imagine a bigger team like Hendrick, Joe Gibbs for that matter, or say Roush, who has 5 cars in this race, I think. 4. Yeah, they added a 5th car with Jamie McMurray in the mid-zeros at some point. But yeah, obviously, let's say, you know, yeah, that's Bracken's job, and Bracken runs 8th. Okay, that's cool. Of course, the GOAT has no friends. He has teammates, allegedly, but, you know, they have not really teamworked at all this season. More importantly, Patrick Smith, who started 10th this race, or 9th? Probably 10th, has made his way up to the 5th place, jostling with Joey Trickle for 4th. Again, doing everything he needs to, trying to close that gap to Eric Monaco. If he finishes behind him, even if he finishes right on his rear bumper, he's still going to lose that title, but anything can happen at this point in the race. Only slightly approaching the 33% distance mark here. We didn't comment too much on Eric Monaco taking 2nd place from Max Davis, but Davis is looking like coming back at him. Take a look at your running order on the side here, and then we'll run through the full field and go for our roast, I guess, which I suppose we could also do when we look at the final results, final standings at the end of the season. But yeah, and I figure I'll make a separate video for that, probably. Yeah. In fact, that is exactly what I will do. Right after I record this one, obviously, but yeah, as things stand, well, Patrick Smith is right behind Eric Monaco, and well, the AI is not going to bat each other off. It'd be amazing if they did, but yeah, Smith is going to race Monaco like a gentleman, like a true sportsman, unlike LSU. And yes, I did have to just throw shade at LSU there. Sorry. Well, the GOAT managed to lap Adalberto Franco When I was a kid, I really liked putting Kikkoman soy sauce on my rice. And nowadays, I just like my rice without soy sauce. In fact, I just don't like soy sauce anymore. Much rather teriyaki. And even as a kid, I think I always preferred teriyaki. But yeah, I did really like putting soy sauce on my rice. I can still imagine what it tastes like. I can still taste it in my mouth right now, you know? It's a very memorable thing from my childhood, but yeah. Now I don't care. I don't like soy sauce. I want it nowhere near my rice, in fact. Of course, it's perhaps a well-known fact, or at least a well-known fun fact to share with your friends at the sushi table in the all-you-can-eat, of which Las Vegas has plenty of, that the fish is supposed to go into the soy sauce, not the rice. Of course, my sisters just don't understand. And they dip only the rice into the into the soy sauce. In fact, I'm fairly certain that if they can avoid dipping any part of the fish in there, they will. This Patrick Smith is past Eric Monaco, and we missed it because we were too busy talking about soy sauce. How about that? These two fighting it out like gentlemen in a boxing ring. Yeah, 24-hour fist festivals, not very gentlemanly. So perhaps that was not the apt comparison, but it was the first one to come to mind. So perhaps it's more like a chess match between these two. Although to be fair, you know, it's not like the World Championship goes on after one of the players has won the prerequisite amount. You know, it's like you know, it's not like it would be like if the NBA Finals were decided in Game 6, but they still played Game 7. That wouldn't make sense at all, but again, it's because racing is an entirely different beast, as we went over in the previous video. Anyways, what's your running order here? The GOAT leads. Oh dear, he's just knocked Harry Langestein into the wall. What a jerk. I bet Langestein's not going to be at all happy about that one, but the GOAT will probably say that he deserved it. No caution, at least, but, you know. Max Davis runs second. Max Davis, again, really proving himself in that number 22. One of the top drivers out on the field. Very consistent. Doesn't have the stats that Monaco and Smith do, but still, lots of solid performances this season, and we'll definitely be looking forward to seeing him again. That was the point I was trying to make, actually, mentioning Smith and Monaco getting locked in next season. For next season, I'm putting Max Davis in the number 22 as a way to make up for my silly mistake at the beginning, where I acknowledged that he asked for the 22 and then forgot to put him in and gave him to one of my original characters instead. The 22, I mean, not Max Davis. I did not give Max Davis to Peter McGregor. That sounds off. But moreover, Steve Morgan, for the same reason, is automatically getting put into the number 29. As for Joey Trickle, there was no number 67 Jasper Motorsports car in 2004, sadly. So he's going to be put in the number 30, which is the car that he originally asked for, actually. I don't know why I had to raise my tone there, emulating a voice break. Hey, look, the two Evernham Dodge cars running together, finally. The intonations on all of these words and these sentences have been completely off, but we'll gloss over that for now. And yeah, I mentioned that, yeah, I put in Matt Deswells and Anthony Charlebois for the number 20 and number 30, but Steve Morgan had actually originally asked for the number 30. But again, because I completely forgot, well, fortunately, the 29 was still open because I put Sevilla in there, so I was able to give him that car. But as for Joey Trickle, again, he was originally supposed to run the number 30, but since I was unavailable because I already gave it to Charlebois, 67, which was given to Giacomo Martini, was open for him, fortunately. And I bet Joey Trickle is extremely pleased with the fact that he didn't have to suffer the season in the number 30. We'll get back to our roast on that note because, spoiler alert, the number 30 has been one of the most unremarkable and forgettable cars this season. Anyways, Max Davis, good stuff. Patrick Smith and Eric Monaco, well, they're fighting it out for the championship, so who cares? Christian Bracken, been an excellent teammate. really proven the worth of the Evernham Dodge car, you know. Again, not quite as up there as Eric Monaco, who's currently leading a championship, but I'm pretty sure she's 4th. So, no slouch. Really good season for Christian Bracken. Joey Trickle hasn't shown quite as much as his teammate Gil Samaya in the Jasper Motorsports Ford, but still a very solid driver once again with a string of good results. He didn't win a race this season, did he? Bummer. Maybe next season, if the number 30 isn't ass. Again. Rocky Johnson. Again, Joe, I lied about the Richard Petty cars. They were terrible. But, I don't know. I guess for the last race of the season, they decided they finally wanted to actually have a race, a decent race, you know. Run up at the front. Johnson had the same problem as Franco, you know. Like, she was running up there in the early races of the season, and then all of a sudden, for reasons unbeknownst to us, that's a lie, but it was just, you know, there you go, at the back of the field. Yeah. Steve Morgan sort of had a disappointing season, I think, given the caliber of his car. Just kept getting beaten by his teammate in the number 3 Goodwrench Chevy, the fellow Goodwrench Chevy driver, the GOAT. Perhaps these two have made amends by now over the little spat in Atlanta, but obviously they're still going to be competing with each other next season. Montero Salin, basically the same story as Rocky Johnson. Ahead of her in the points by a few positions. I don't know where that came from. Putting him in the sprint car and Alberto Frank, putting the number 66 car in the first place was probably a bit of a mistake. And, well, so was the number 83, obviously. Gerald Pepper. What can you say about Gerald Pepper? Spent most of the season at the back of the field in the slowest car. And, well, we put him in a different car. And he won a race. And had lots of other good finishes. Very nice. Chris Harvey. He's been there. Won a race at Pocono. Very consistent performances. Sorry, I was distracted by the fact that the GOAT is attempting to lap the whole field here. But yeah, Harvey, very good driver, very good string of performances this season. But maybe we could categorize him as a guy who's just outside the top 10. I don't know. Maybe that's a little bit harsh. Joe Allen, that number 7 Dodge, not a Richard Petty, but still a Dodge. Perhaps not that much better. Wait. That was an Evernham Dodge this whole time? Hold on a second. Second-hand Evernham car because it was an Ultra Motorsports. Okay, that's fine. Then we can excuse Joe Allen's bad car. Look, there he is, you know. Every once in a while he has some good results. He's in the top 20. Yay. Lucas Evans. Good stuff. Struggled early on in the season. Not very fast. Not very consistent. And, well, what was consistent at the latter half of the season were those second place finishes. But he finally got a win. I don't know. Again, I genuinely forget when that happened. But, yeah, it was at some point at some time. Mathis Wells, he's kind of been forgettable. Sorry, it's true. But he hasn't been bad, just forgettable. Gil Samaya, there you go. Gil Samaya. If there were anybody that challenged the GOAT this season, it would be this guy. He's making the most out of his highly tuned Jasper Motorsports engine. Good stuff. Eli Wolf, we kind of know him as one of the guys leading the points at the beginning of the field, which is kind of neat. Jana Fogelman. And word of caution, Joey Trickle. Oh no, Joey Trickle's engine is gone. He has blown it. What the hell? Joey Trickle out of the race. Spoke too soon. That Jasper Motorsports engine has been so strong this season. But, okay, actually, the real reason the caution came out was because Samit Özkan got dumped on the front stretch. And, oh, I mean, ouch. Hard lick for Samit Özkan on that inside wall. But fortunately, yeah, lots of nose damage. but fortunately nobody sideswiped him thereafter. Exiting turn 4, Matthew Burnett making contact. He goes across, Özkan goes across both his car and PK's. And Joey Trickle's engine decided to take time to call it quits. Unfortunate. Well, the GOAT sort of sealed everyone's fate here because he has lapped up to 6th place Rocky Johnson, I believe. Well, actually, no, 7th. Yeah, 6th place Rocky Johnson because it trickles out of the race. Meaning that 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th are gonna remain on a lead lap, and basically there's nothing Patrick Smith can do now except hope that Eric Monaco suffers a catastrophic failure or gets punted off by the GOAT or somebody else in pit road or something. Joey Trickle. Bad luck there. Why can't I get onto it? What? It feels like it keeps skipping his car. I must be going crazy, but yeah. The Jasper Motorsports engine finally gave out. How about that? In the final race of the season, and the sun is blinding us here, but this hasn't been the way to end the season. This has been a very disappointing and boring race. Joey Trickle out of the race. It's all the drivers who have been lapped into the pits. And as you can see, Davis exits pit road ahead of Patrick Smith, Christian Bracken, and Eric Monaco. But again, there's basically nothing Patrick Smith can do now. Only 5 cars left on the lead lap, so only 5 cars realistically fighting for position. And unfortunately for him, although he's in the top 5, so is Eric Monaco. I'm sure Monaco is going to be very pleased with this, of course. He basically has to do a little much else but sit back and relax, because he's got the cup in the bag. Very anticlimactic finish ultimately to the season. But, well, this is my channel. Who's surprised? Back underway on lap 46. And, oh, the Richard Petty car is giving the GOAT a run for his money. They have a better start than him, and Max Davis could very well have done as well. Again, Monaco just needs to keep himself out of trouble. Oh, dear. Max Davis diving into the pits here. Something clearly gone wrong with the car. But, yeah. Can get back out onto the racetrack. He was going to maintain 5th place at least, but obviously that pretty much ensures that Smith and Monaco are going to be right next to each other for the remainder of this race. Quiet moments here. Probably some sort of piece of debris or something stuck on the car, but okay, that's more like it. The GOAT once again leaving the field in the dust, so we can get back to our roast here. Who's next? I didn't focus on Eli Wolf too much, so Eli Wolf, he's been there. He's had some results. He won that race in Dover, which Daniel Voiles should have won, and we'll thoroughly give Daniel Voiles an earful for that one. As for Mathis Wells, again, he's a driver who's been there. Janet Fogelman, very disappointing season. Spent most of it near the back of the field. Only very rarely had some good performances. Good qualifying, good race runs. Yeah. Annie Thomas, you could say much of the same. The DEI cars have been very disappointing this season, not performing at the top of the field where they should be. But I mean, especially in the case of Brittany White, who's been in last position in this season every once in a while. You know, if not for Pepper, Whitlock, and Franken. Riley Spurley's been very on and off. He's had some top 10 performances. He's had some bouts at the front of the field. Well, yeah, here's hoping that next season goes off a little bit better for him. Colin Cropley, perhaps the unluckiest driver at the beginning of the season, could not for the life of him score a top 10. But then he finally did, and he managed, after that, a top 5 even. And, yeah, still not very lucky, but able to put in some performances. Ashley shot of oh dear. Cropley nearly spinning Spurley out. I bet, yeah, those two are not going to be endeared to each other. No doubt about that. Ashley Schottevald, she won the Daytona 500, and that's about it. She's perhaps the most consistent driver because she's consistently in and around the bottom of the top 20, the top of the bottom 20, which is to say, around 20th place in the race and in the standings. Reggie Fogelman, like Jana Fogelman, a very disappointing season, especially in a much better car, you would expect. But, yeah, as always next season, all these drivers could definitely improve if they stick around. Lyle Austin, similar story, sort of just been there. Amy Hicks, I bet we mostly know her for crashing spectacularly, but I'm pretty sure that she's, yeah, second highest of the Chip Ganassi cars. Reagan Whitlock somehow seems to be out of trouble more consistently than her teammates, but that's because she's over the back of the field. Estacio PK did really well at the beginning of the season, but just fell off and has not been near the front since. Pretty unfortunate. Samet Özkan, similar story, actually. Özkan has been definitely better than his Penske teammate Leroy Jenkins, but yeah. Özkan definitely, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Özkan's actually in the top 10 of the points or something. Definitely in the top 20 for sure, but yeah, he's going to have a decent points finish at the end of the season, but yeah, just not exactly what was hoping for. Mo Zane. Mo Zane's another driver that's just been there. He just exists, and that's the most we could have hoped from him. Sorry, it's true. Argy Taiki. He's been a not a road course runner. He's been a short track guy. He's done really well at the short tracks. Outside of that, well, he's probably where you see him right now. Bobbin Flobo, also been there. Leroy Jenkins, a disappointment to be sure. Again, just not putting in those Leroy Jenkins's performances. That didn't come out correctly. But yeah, he's just at the back of the field all the time. Not where he needs to be. He really needs to do some soul searching next season. Perhaps the number 2 needs a superior driver. Ditto for the number 8, Daniel Voiles. Had a shot at a win and squandered it because he was running out of fuel. And he has not been near the front ever since. Now, please be advised that this is not a knock on Dale Jr. This is a knock on Daniel Voiles. I'm gonna say it unabashedly, Daniel. You suck. Actually, we just were not lucky this season. There's always next season. Antonin Charlebois, on the other hand, again, perhaps the most forgettable driver in the most forgettable car. But then there's also Sabrina Futlego, which we could say the exact same thing about. Now, Brittany White just been the worst of the DEI drivers. Absolutely terrible. Always at the back of the field. Where we see her right now. Ouch. And true first. Harry Langestein. He did well at both Talladega races, I think. Unless he crashed out of the second one. But yeah. Langestein. What can I say about the people at the back of the field? They did meh. Burnett is, you know, he's been up at the front every once in a while. He's not having a good day today. Dylan Ibrahimian, another disappointment, just like Jana Fogelman. What is wrong with Robert Yates Racing? I don't know. Reagan Whitlock. started on pole at the Daytona 500. He's been at the back of the field ever since. Agata Sato, another disappointment. Yeah. By the way, Frank Kuperus, I'm pretty sure I've told you this already. But if I haven't, it's because I was trying to be super nice. But Agata is not a real Japanese name. In fact, Agata describes sitting cross-legged. Pick a name like Akira next time. Adalberto Franco. I don't really need to say anything else. As for the GOAT, I know I've just been caustic with regards to everybody else, but maybe people have finally endeared themselves to the GOAT. Who knows? That's obviously a lie. I'm talking out of my ass right now. That's where the shit comes from. But yeah, 14 wins this season. He's looking on for his 15th. It's all going to be for naught. Ditto for Patrick Smith, who runs ahead of Eric Monaco right now. But man, Dodge and Evernham, aren't they going to be excited? Their drivers coming home in the top 5. And Eric Monaco on to win the championship. Nothing Patrick Smith could do. Just super, super unlucky. At the end of the day, he was in the lead for so much of the early part of the latter half of the season, if that makes any sense. But a string of bad performances let Eric Monaco close that gap up. Patrick Smith was leading at one point by 330 points. 333, in fact, I believe. As things stand, he's looking on to finish 18 points behind Eric Monaco. Two running side by side. Be so easy for one of them to bat each other off. But they're AI and they're not going to do that. Which means they're gentlemen. I think Patrick Smith has resigned himself to his fate. He could... Perhaps the sportsman-like thing is to try to spin Eric Monaco out. Nah. No, it's not. It's a load of crap. Nice poetic image we're looking at right now. These two drivers, two of the best in the season. The GOAT in the number 3 is going to finish 3rd in the standings. You love to see it. You love to see it. Not much else we could say, but there we go. It's 3 laps to go for these two. Eric Monaco is going to be your 2023 NASCAR AAA Cup Series champion. Assuming that he doesn't blow his engine. These two driving side by side, clearly congratulating each other, but Christian Bracken falling into the pits here, perhaps running out of fuel because, I don't know, I guess the AI didn't fuel up properly. This might be another one of those problems at Homestead, Miami. Leroy Jenkins in the pits as well. As you can see, Eric Monaco rather symbolically stepping out in front of Patrick Smith. These two did have some nice words to share with each other in the cockpits of their cars. More importantly, the GOAT takes the white flag at the Ford 400. Solemn, solemn end under the lights for this race and this season. This is not how I wanted this to go. Lots of good fun moments. Actual tears are probably forming right now. "15 wins for the GOAT. He has a lot to be pleased about. Bracken 4th, Davis 5th. Patrick Smith finishes ahead of Eric Monaco. But Eric Monaco is your champion, ladies and gentlemen. And that, I think, is cause for celebration. So, enough of the mopiness. You don't need that in your life. Get waves to his fellow drivers. Has some business to attend to. Yeah, practice. That was our indication that something was wrong with the AI. I rather easily smashed Jamie McMurray's Jamie McMurray's record by 0.8 of a second. Come on. Get good. Wait, this banking's only 6 degrees? Surely not. The turns are not banked 6 degrees. They're banked something like 20. Surely. Whatever. Anyways, yeah, that's practice. Cool. Big deal. Qualifying. Okay. The GOAT is driving over the Ford logo, rubbing it in. Yeah, that's real sportsmanlike of him. That is really an LSU moment. Yeah, I'm recording this shortly after the NCAA basketball championships have concluded. So yeah, that is the GOAT tearing it up on the front stretch. Wow. The GOAT wins. Patrick Smith second. Eric Monaco, your champion, comes home third. Only 3 drivers finishing on the lead lap today. 4th place, Christian Bracken. 5th place, Max Davis. 6th, Montero Salin. 7th, Gerald Pepper. 8th, Gil Samaya. 9th, Chris Harvey. And rounding out your top 10, Rocky Johnson. 11th goes to Steve Morgan. 12th, Eli Wolf. 13th, Lucas Evans. 14th, Joe Allen. 15th, Mathis Wells. 16th, Andy Thomas. 17th, Colin Cropley. 18th, Ashley Schoenfeld. 19th, Rich Fogman. And Estacio PK finishes 20th today. 21st, Bobbin Flobo. 22nd, Mozane. 23rd, Salman Özkan. 24th, Matthew Burnett. 25th, Antonin Charlebois. 26th, Harry Langestein. 27th, Daniel Volas. 28th, Sabrina Futlego. 29th, Dylan Ebrahimian. 30th, Agata Sato. Am I really doing this right now? Whatever. 31st, Jana Fogelman. 32nd, Adalberto Franco. Surprisingly, finished a lap down. And he was the last year drivers to finish 1 lap down. 2 laps down today. 33rd, Amy Hicks. 34th, Lyle Austin. 35th, Ari Taiki. 36th, Riley Spurley. 37th, Leroy Jenkins. 38th, Brittany White. And last year finishers today. In 39th, Reagan Whitlock. 40th today, retiring early due to a header failure on lap 44 or so, Joey Trickle. And that's the GOAT's Polish victory lap complete. So he's going to come back into the pits and join in on the celebration. This is really nothing at the end of the day, but this was a load of fun. I've said it's over, but obviously there's a new season. Who knows, I might actually win the Daytona 500 this time. Seems unlikely. Championship chase comes to an end. The GOAT wins at Homestead Miami night as Eric Monaco takes the championship. There you go, let's just screenshot that because that is... That's, yeah. I know the music will cut out there, but let's take a screenshot of this. Of course, I could just hit print screen, but I think it was already a screenshot that I wanted to take. But yeah, there you go. That's your season over. Yeah, we might as well just go over the whole point standings here. Eric Monaco finished 18 points ahead of Patrick Smith to win the 2023 NASCAR AAA Cup Series. Good stuff. 2 wins, 11 top 5s, 22 top 10s, only 3 DNFs, 2,614 of 2,729 laps completed. Smith seems to have the better stats here. But he did also have 3 more DNFs, and that could very well be what did him in at the end. Yeah. Oof. 3 poles, 2 wins, 15 top 5s, 22 top 10s, more top 5s than Monaco, that is. So perhaps those things cancel each other out, but those DNFs, you know, Monaco could have finished 11th for something. And again, that's making all the difference. How about it? The GOAT finishes 3rd this season. 105 points behind Eric Monaco. Damn. 13 poles, 15 wins, 15 top 5s, 20 top 10s. Breaking into that 20 with the top 10s there. How about that? But 7 DNFs. Again, clearly that's what did him in at the end. 4th place, Christian Bracken, 1 win, 8 top 5s, 18 top 10s, only 4 DNFs. 5th place, Max Davis, 2 poles, 2 wins, 12 top 5s, 18 top 10s, only 2 DNFs. Nice. Wait, Bracken had 4. Yeah, Bracken. 6th place, Gil Samaya, 5 poles, 3 wins, 7 top 5s, 15 top 10s, only 2 DNFs. 7th place, Eli Wolf, 1 win, 9 top 5s, 18 top 10s, only 5 DNFs. Chris Harvey, 1 win, 8 top 5s, 16 top 10s. You guys can read, and I'm just padding for time, I guess. 9th place, Lucas Evans, he had a win. And rounding out your top 10, Joey Trickle, who just wasn't able to get to victory lane this season. Bummer. Alright, let's cut the crap. Voiles, Morgan, Spurley, Thomas, Erskine, Wells, Burnett, Reggie Fogelman, PK, and Taiki round out your top 20. Erskine and Taiki both had 1 win apiece. Yep, Asher Shadowald, best of the rest, 1 win. Colin Cropley had 1 win. Gerald Pepper had 2. Yeah, if we treat this as its own separate standings here, then Shadowald was best of the rest. Cropley and Pepper, 2nd and 3rd best of the rest. Flobo, Zane, Langstein, Lego, who won the EA Sports 500. How about that? Jana Fogelman, Lyle Austin, Joe Allen. Yeah, that's 21st through 30th there. And now for the Hall of Shame. The bottom 10 in the standings. Antonin Charlebois, Amy Hicks, Montero Salin, Leroy Jenkins, Brittany White, Dylan Ebrahimian, Agata Sato, Rocky Johnson, Reagan Whitlock, and Adalberto Franco. Look at Reagan Whitlock. 36 races, 1 pole, 0 top 5s, 0 top 10s, 11 DNFs. Ouch. Poles here. 13 for the GOAT, 5 for Samaya and Evans, 3 for Smith, 2 for Davis and Trickle, 1 Voiles, Morgan, Burnett, Taiki, Pepper, and Whitlock as mentioned. Your wins. The GOAT had 15. Damn. Samaya 3, Monaco, Smith, Davis, and Pepper each had 2. Your one-time winners, Bracken, Wolf, Harvey, Evans, Özkan, Taiki, Shadowald, Cropley, Lego, and Sevilla. Most top 5s, sort of consistent with your points. Pepper definitely the outlier, as with Taiki and Cropley to an extent. The Smith and the GOAT each had 15. Davis and Morgan 12. Monaco, your champion, only 11. Evans had 10. Top 10s, Monaco and Smith tied at 22. The GOAT had 20. Bracken, Davis, Wolf had 18, as did Evans. Harvey 16. Samaya and Morgan 15. Most DNFs, Whitlock and Johnson with 11. White with 10. Lego, Flobo, Pepper, and Wells 8. Sato, Charlebois, Austin, Reggie Fogelman, Morgan, and the GOAT each had 7. Laps completed goes to Riley Spurley by 2 laps over Montero Salin. 2,625 out of 2,729. That puts your champion at 3rd in that respect. Laps led, obviously the GOAT, 1,156, almost 50%. Then there's Samaya with 269, Lucas Evans with 223, Max Davis with 204. She's clearly at the bottom here. No top 5s for Whitlock, White, Jenkins, Hicks, Jana Fogelman, or Zane. And as mentioned, no top 10s for Whitlock. Alright. That's that. Season's over. You can stop beating the dead horse now. It's been Hanafuda. It's been a time and a half. An honor. And I'll see you in the next video. Man, I'm going to spend like 20 minutes downloading all those cars. Yeah.